Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
And welcome to it. There's no time to waste today, I'll tell you that. Every day's busy, but this is more so than normal.
Unprecedented.
So let's get right to the bingo card. When you get a bingo, you call 888-900-3393 and yell the word bingo first thing out of your mouth. Okay? Then you win $30 worth of merchandise from PatGrayShop.com and the dozen cookies from Kexi.com.
And the card is pinned to the top of Pat Unleashed on Twitter.
And it starts in the upper left-hand corner with me saying, that's just good, clean fun right there. Jeffy, evil does what evil does, which is a brilliant statement, sure, as we all know. Jeb Bush.
Get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
Really, the only relevant part of that is please clap.
Low energy.
Please clap.
There it is. So Chris says,
I call BS on that.
All right. Me saying, what Nelly? In the voice of Keith Jackson. Then, head of the gays.
Head of the gays.
Got to mention the head of the gays, Scott Bessent.
He's been busy.
Trump saying,
I don't have to negotiate.
I love that. I love that attitude from him. Just fantastic. Keith.
That's a hot take.
Then we've got protest singing.
It's too early for that.
So it could be any protest singer, or does it have to be that particular?
It's gotta be
this one.
It's got to be this one.
Okay.
Rough.
That's it's the insanity is hard to get your head around. Jeffy doesn't understand a fat joke.
Wait a minute.
Wait. Big Mike.
Particularly as a black man.
Like that.
Some good stuff on here from Just Too Muckin' Fudge.
That is taking something out of context.
Wow.
Okay? Not what they usually say it is, but that is taking something out of context.
Particularly as a black man.
Let's see. 2 and 3 to a mule. That's a Jeffy
Oh,
saying,
yeah, that's a Jeffy thing, yeah.
But they've got me listed with that. Then the tough act of 2025. Oh, yeah, the tough act of 2025. That's the most important act there is. Get that kid checked out. We haven't done that for a while.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a fun one to bring back.
George Bernard Shaw.
You'll be kind enough to justify your existence.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
We actually had a reference to that last week, I think, on Glenn's show when I was filling in. I forget what the deal was.
Well, that's where you have fun, down the hall on Glenn's show, talking about...
Right. George Bernard Shaw and eugenics. Yeah, that's fun. There's nothing more fun than that. Keith.
Can we fact check that?
Kamala, little instruction here.
Ukraine is a country in Europe.
Thank you for that. Nobody knew that ahead of time until she made that statement. Jeffy, what are you going to do? Arnold.
Screw your freedom.
Guy's supposedly a Republican. Okay. Me saying he's overweight. Casting aspersions.
Oh, you don't do that.
No. Chris with
Latinx.
I don't think it's supposed to be pronounced that way, but I'm not a Latin X or a Latina or a Latino or any of those things.
So you don't know.
I am 1,200,000th Cherokee Indian, however. 1,273,000.
Is that enough for free school?
No. I just missed it. It's got to be 1,270,000, and then you can. Mm-hmm. Trump says,
and this guy's a liar.
Keith with,
as Jeffy would say,
and then I bring up a movie that's too new for Keith to have seen. That could be anything in the last 39 years, of course. So, all right. Let's get started on our busy day because there is a lot happening. A lot of stuff going on over the weekend, all of it connected to the fact that America has a strong president.
Amen.
Again, thank you for that.
I mean, every story, that is the thread.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is president.
Yeah. First, the news came that President Trump, through his Secretary of State Marco Rubio, secured a ceasefire between India and Pakistan. Jeez. Then came a tweet. I guess a lot of people don't care about that, but that's a big deal.
It sure is.
Those are two nuclear powers, and that thing could go sideways in a hurry, and really in an ugly way. There was a Pakistani defense minister. I don't know if he's like deputy minister or something, but he talked about how, yeah, this could go to nuclear war quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and J.D. Vance said that quote, it was none of our business.
Yeah.
But then they got some intelligence report or something, and that's when they said, okay, we need a ceasefire right now. And this administration made it happen quickly.
So here's a tweet from President Trump, and it says, President Putin of Russia doesn't want to have a ceasefire agreement with Ukraine, but rather wants to meet on Thursday in Turkey to negotiate a possible end to the bloodbath. Wow. Ukraine should agree to this immediately. At least they'll be able to determine whether or not a deal is possible. And if it is not, European leaders and the U.S. will know where everything stands and can proceed accordingly.
Yeah.
And I think we've sent the message that, look, we're not in this forever, okay? So if you can't go along for the ride, if you can't make some concessions, we're going to be done with it and you're on your own. I think that's the message they're sending them.
Yep.
Which is appropriate after 3 years of this. I'm starting to doubt that Ukraine will make a deal with Putin, who's too busy celebrating the victory of World War II, which could not have been won, not even close, without the United States of America. Have the meeting now.
And they both responded, and they will be meeting on Thursday in Turkey.
Oh, wow.
I'm telling you. It was just
amazing.
You couldn't breathe this weekend without more good news coming in.
Can you imagine if Joe Biden or Kamala Harris were in office right now? This thing would have spiraled completely. We'd be in World War right now.
I mean,
World War.
She has Ukraine and Russia figured out.
Ukraine is a country in Europe.
In Europe. Oh,
here it is.
Okay.
I mean, sign right here, please.
All right. There you go. Yesterday, then, we heard from the U.S. trade team in Switzerland for some more good news. They met on back-to-back days and have apparently secured a new deal with China. So here's the head of the gays. We were just talking about him.
Right.
Head of the gays, Scott Bessent.
Yeah.
And I think that led to a great deal of the productivity we've seen. We will be giving details tomorrow.
Okay.
But I can tell you that the talks were productive. We had the vice premier, two vice ministers who were integrally involved, Ambassador Jameson and myself. And I spoke to President Trump, as did Ambassador Jameson last night, and he is fully informed of what is going on. So there will be a complete briefing tomorrow morning.
Love him. So good.
Yeah. So he was trying to say, look, nothing's official. It's just we're getting there. This is the difference between Bessent and Greer. The next clip that we have, because he basically
he said it's pretty well done, right?
Yeah.
Jameson Greer had this to say.
I want to echo the Secretary's remarks with respect to the Swiss government. They've been so welcoming, and they've hosted this, and everything has gone off flawlessly, and we appreciate that. And again, to the Chinese negotiators, Vice Premier Liu He, Vice Minister Li Qiangong, and Vice Minister Liao Min worked very diligently, and these are very tough negotiators. A couple of them I know from before and have had past interactions with them. And this was, as the Secretary pointed out, a very constructive 2 days. It's important to understand how quickly we were able to come to agreement, which reflects that perhaps the differences were not so large as maybe thought. That being said, there was a lot of groundwork that went into these 2 days. Just remember why we're here in the first place. The United States has a massive $1.2 trillion trade deficit. So the president declared a national emergency and imposed tariffs. And we're confident that the deal we struck with our Chinese partners will help us to work toward resolving that national emergency.
Okay.
Deal we struck.
Then overnight, the news broke that the U.S. and China are going to pause tariff escalation for 90 days. So that slashes the reciprocal tariff by 115%.
Yeah. So
that's fairly significant.
Yeah. So it's down to that baseline 10%. There's that fentanyl thing that's still out there, another 20% though. So It's really good.
We're getting a lot of fentanyl from China.
I don't know. I couldn't quite follow that.
That's a weird thing to attach to the Chinese.
Well, no, they're sending it through the illicit drug trade.
Okay. Yeah.
But they just did another press conference right before we went on air, and this thing's done.
Nice.
For at least 90 days while we figure out the rest of the details. But my gosh, that was fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and there are story after story after story about how bad things are getting in China with their economy. And
right.
We've talked about how they've worn out their welcome in Africa. Now they're doing it in Mexico.
Good.
Their businesses there are screwing over locals. So the atmosphere is ripe for
something to be done.
Yes.
That's great. I mean, that's completely different than the things that China says in public, because they have to continue that facade that they're beyond all of this. They're impervious to this. They don't need us. Really? Okay. All right. Whatever. The U.S. dollar has strengthened on all of this news, and the markets, of course, responded really favorably. I know the futures were up 400 points last I saw.
We're over 1,000.
Now it's over 1,000?
Futures, yeah. Let's see here.
Man.
Yep, that's the futures.
Good.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Okay. That's pretty
Trust
good.
the process, man.
Yeah.
I love this.
And it was tough for a couple of days. It was scary. But again, you exercise a little bit of patience, and you have to trust the process. And of course, the other side's not going to. The left in this country is going to do everything they can to thwart everything this president is doing. And so they make it as difficult as possible, but it's happening anyway. Meanwhile, speaking of the left in this country, they're in disarray right now. This is Bill Maher explaining the state of the Democrat Party.
Our current Congress is the most racially and ethnically diverse ever. They're like a beautiful, useless rainbow. And we proudly live in a land where every TV commercial features a mixed-race couple, including the ones where it makes no sense.
Yes! Thank you.
Mom's black, dad's white, and the kid's Asian.
Yeah. Yep. Pause it.
But here is the
That's a brilliant observation from Bill Maher. I'm so glad to see that he is being honest about this, because that is, and we've talked about it many times, but it's so ridiculous that they bend over backwards trying to jam a square peg into a round hole, that it's embarrassing. And even Bill Maher notices it. This diversity thing has gone so far. All right, let him finish here.
But here is the dilemma for Democrats. Their young people, their key constituency, not only don't like their own civilization, they like the wrong one.
Yeah.
They actually think Hamas is a liberation movement.
Thank you.
They chant for the Houthis. They're chanting, "We will honor our martyrs" at Yale. They're looking for love in all the wrong countries. Someone needs to tell the kids that America is not the society where women basically have no rights, where there's zero freedom of religion, and where dissent is punishable by death. Our democracy may be on life support, but we still have elections. They don't. And yet at Coachella this year, when an Irish rap group projected onto screens, Israel, free Palestine, got big applause. Globalize the intifada is the catchphrase that's really catching on these days, as if worldwide suicide bombing and cosplaying Islamic revolutionaries is the answer to our problems. At an AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, this is not a symbol of freedom. This is.
Yes.
If the thought leaders in the Democratic Party keep encouraging and not rebuking the idea that America is cringe and the people who run Gaza are great, the Democrats are doomed. Alyssa Slotkin's right. Liberals are weak and woke, especially the white ones, and they indulge all sorts of nonsense from their kids, a pattern that then continues on in the Democratic Party. Last election, it was all the gender stuff, the insistence that men can have babies and such, and now I fear that we like the terrorists is the new that. Liberals need to push back on the dumb ideas that come from their children. The Democrats' problem is the energy of the party is with the young and the young are with the terrorists. That's not good. So talk to your children and remind them you don't really want to live like your heroes in Hamas. All the you do all day, it was all made in America. Your smartphone, your Grubhub, your freedom to bitch about America, that's all American stuff. You tell your phone you want a milkshake and a guy brings it to your house. Please, you couldn't survive a week living in Intifadaville.
Thank you.
Please clap.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Get back into the business of
these?
creating a more peaceful world.
Uh-huh.
Please clap.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, that audience was so slow. They wouldn't clap for the American flag either. Of course, that's Bill Maher's audience. But,
yeah. I would imagine his audience is starting to change a little bit. I don't know. It's possible, but wow, that was well spoken and very necessary. It's great that we have somebody on the left saying these things to the left, because when we say it, that audience isn't hearing it. So it's fantastic that it's coming from him now. This is outrageous. I mean, yes, we still disagree on most things, but he has common sense enough to understand that America is far superior to Hamas and all that they love and the life they lead. It's pretty amazing. Great to have him on the side of common sense on this particular issue. Did you know that when your metabolism is working properly, you're going to feel the benefits in virtually every aspect of your life? I found a valuable tool that gives me insight into to create a healthy metabolism for my body. It's called Lumen. All you have to do is breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning, and then you'll know what's going on with your metabolism. Really important, whether you're burning mostly fat or carbs. Then Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for that day based on your measurements, so that you can have a better, more healthy life. That's what I'm trying to say. You could also breathe into it before and after workouts and meals, so that you know exactly what's going on in your body in real time. And Lumen will give you tips on how to keep on top of your health game. It can also track your cycle as well as the onset of menopause, which is important. I'm wondering if I'm going into menopause right now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
That time of life.
It's a scary time of life. But then it'll adjust your recommendations to keep your metabolism healthy throughout your hormonal shifts, too. So you can keep up your energy. You can stave off cravings. The warmer months are coming. In fact, it's going to hit 100 this week in Texas. So it's time to spring back into your health routine and your fitness. So go to lumen.me/Pat. Lumen, lumen.me/Pat. Get 15% off your Lumen. That's lumen.me/Pat to get 15% off your purchase. And we'd like to thank Lumen for sponsoring this portion of the show.
Pat Gray returns.
So what were the Congressional Democrats up to this weekend? Well, let's go to Newark, New Jersey, and Congresswoman LaMonica McIver and others in front of the ICE detention center.
We will not take this. We will fight back. Fight back. Fight back. And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time.
Easy on the mic.
And damn it, shut down the Senate.
Oh, that's good.
We are at war.
Wow.
Anytime a person can
gosh.
Yeah.
That's okay rhetoric, though. That's fine.
It's helpful.
When it's coming from the left.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
When you scream into a microphone, GD it, shut down this city, that's effective right there. That'll sway people to your cause.
Yeah. And if it was a Republican screaming all that, I'm sure it would be completely appropriate in every way. Can you even imagine? Oh, man. You've got bigger problems in Newark than ICE. You might want to look into your airport there.
Oh, no.
Holy cow. That thing. Good safety tip?
Yeah.
Don't fly in or out of Newark's Liberty Airport because they've had 3 shutdowns now in 2 weeks.
Something's going on there.
Yeah, it's really bad. Really bad. So here's Newark.
Yeah, this is when they charge the gate. Go ahead and play the video.
Yep. All right.
You see her
more in Newark.
Yeah,
and
there's LaMonica throwing her considerable sized body around.
Jeez.
Shoving into ICE agents. Again, if this were a Republican.
Yeah. Can you imagine the hysteria?
Okay, we got it. There's the second one. Yep.
Wow.
I mean, she is insane.
It's completely out of control. And there's more.
Yep.
There's more of this.
So clearly she's getting physical and starting stuff.
If this was anybody else, they'd call it assault and she'd be arrested and she'd be in jail. But here she is whining afterward. Okay. She's the victim, I'm sure.
Oh, no.
What all of you watch occurred is just how reckless ICE is. It is
That's
unacceptable
how reckless
that
you
me,
are.
as a member of Congress, as a black woman here in this city, was just assaulted by multiple ICE officers while regional directors of ICE watched it happen. Since we toured the whole facility with them, no one offered an apology or said anything to me about what occurred out here. Not only was I assaulted, but Congressman Bonnie Watson was assaulted, and of course Congressman Rob Menendez was roughed up as he was trying to protect us. It makes no sense, and it is highly unacceptable how this administration is trying to restrict Congress from doing their bare duties and the responsibilities that the people have elected us to do.
She's the aggressor, and she blames everything on ICE. Incredible.
Yep.
Wow.
That's right. And I looked up that Bob Menendez that she referenced. That is Bob Menendez's son. I had no idea he was in Congress, but...
I didn't know that either.
Yep.
Huh.
Cool.
So there's just no end to the Menendez family and their reign of terror.
That's
Good.
right.
That's great. Also, Al Sharpton afterward was upset about Newark and upset that white South Africans who are being murdered in their home country are being allowed to come to America as refugees.
Wow.
At the same time, the New York Times is saying that President Trump is saying to white Afrikaners from South Africa, I'll give you refugee status. So we're bringing in white Afrikaners who we don't know if they're criminal. We don't know this, what they went through in the legal process in South Africa. But people right here in Newark, we're going to assume they're all criminal. We're going to bring them out. And if the mayor wants to say, wait a minute, let's have due process, lock him up. He's trespassing.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's exactly what's going on.
Trespassing. Had nothing to do with a physical assault of a federal agent. You're right.
Despicable. It's really despicable. Meanwhile, President Trump had a message for illegals in the United States.
Today, I signed an executive order to launch the first ever self-deportation program for illegal aliens. We are making it as easy as possible for illegal aliens to leave America. Any illegal alien can simply show up at an airport and receive a free flight out of our country. We have also launched a phone app called CBP Home. That's CBP Home, where illegals can book a free flight to any foreign country. As long as it's not here, you can go anywhere you want.
I love it.
We're also adding a very important exit bonus for illegals to further incentivize their self-deportation. This deportation bonus will save American taxpayers billions and billions of dollars. What Biden did to this country can never be explained, will never, ever be accepted. Eventually, when the illegals are gone, it will save us trillions of dollars. However, if illegal aliens choose to remain in America, they're remaining illegally, and they will face severe consequences. Illegal aliens who stay in America face punishments including significant jail time, enormous financial penalties, confiscation of all property, garnishment of all wages, imprisonment and incarceration, and sudden deportation in a place and manner solely of our discretion. So to all illegal aliens, book your free flight right now. We want you out of America, but if you're really good, we're going to try and help you get back in. Thank you.
There you go. That's a better alternative than being found and forced out. Go of your own free will. We'll even give you money and free flight anywhere you want to go. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Would anybody else offer this deal? I don't think so. I've never heard it. Never heard of it from another country. Maybe they do, and it's just not promoted. But we need to look into that. See if that's ever been done in the history of this planet. Are we the only ones who ever offer them bonuses to leave? Where we're not going to prosecute you, you're not going to be put in prison, you can go anywhere you want, you don't have to go back to a place where you're afraid to be. We'll send you anywhere. Should take them up on it. Mm-hmm. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth also had a message for illegals who may be crossing the border into newly designated military bases.
Just a quick update. 2 weeks ago, we were down on the border when we established the first national defense area. Basically, think about the border. It's similar to a military installation. If you trespass, you will be charged. Well, since then, we've got 2,000 troops patrolling that area. We put over 1,300 signs up in that national defense area, including a second national defense area. So the border space that DOD is allowed to take actions inside is growing and growing. But so are the prosecutions, and that's what I want to remind any illegal thinking about entering our country. Combined charges to illegal aliens entering the national defense areas and damaging any government property, which is basically what happens when you trespass, could get a total of up to 10 years in prison. Just entering the national defense area could lead to charges. You do other things, could be even more. So far, DOJ has already charged more than 100 illegal aliens with these crimes. That number will continue to climb. The number of national defense areas will continue to climb. The barbed wire will climb. The troops will climb because we're going to get 100% operational control of the border. And when you cross illegally, you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law by the Department of Justice. You see, back in the day when the cartels would look across the border, if they saw camouflage, guys with binoculars, they knew that was somewhere they could cross because the military didn't have the authorities to actually detain temporarily.
What?
Now we do. And so if you see guys in camouflage now with binoculars or in striker vehicles with rifles, they have the authority to detain illegals temporarily and assist Border Patrol and hand them over, and now to be charged by the Department of Justice up to 10 years. A reminder that we're taking this seriously, and we're going to get 100% operational control of the border.
Love it. I mean, we've been begging for this for 60 years or more. And finally, we've got an administration who's taking it seriously. I mean, they're even taking it more seriously than the first time around for President Trump. This is it's a different feel. It's a much different feel. The only thing we were talking about the first time around really was the wall and that Mexico was going to pay for it. And so none of that happened because he didn't have support of Congress. I mean, some of it happened. A very small section was built as new wall. They did repair some of the old, falling apart spaces on the border, but nothing major was done then. It certainly is now. And even without the wall, they're just showing people how serious they are with the military involved. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Welcome. 888-900-3393. Got a few tweets here. Escalated thought criminal tweets. Relationship goals. Get someone who fights for you the way Democrats fight for illegal aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That would be really a special relationship to have. Gen X kid. That New Jersey congresswoman acts that way in public. Can you imagine how she must act behind closed doors or at the buffet?
No.
No, I'm sure. You don't want to get between her and the buffet, that's for sure. Giblets tweets, was Congresswoman McIver trying to redshirt as a linebacker?
Oh, let's see.
Asking for the transfer portal.
Oh, yeah. She can bust through a crowd easily.
Yeah,
Look at
yeah.
that.
She's
Look at
muscling
that.
her way in.
Look
So
at that.
they're trying to get somewhere they're not supposed to be.
Correct.
And it is the people standing there being pushed around that are the aggressors.
Mm-hmm.
That's just unbelievable. It's really unbelievable.
That's your elected Democrats right there.
And she didn't get arrested. She should have been.
No.
Oh, man. Okay. Also, here was White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, who's awesome, when asked about the possibility of suspending habeas corpus in order to enforce President Trump's immigration orders.
Well, the Constitution is clear, and that, of course, is the supreme law of the land, that the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in a time of invasion. So I would say that's an option we're actively looking at. Look, a lot of it depends on whether the courts do the right thing or not. At the end of the day, Congress passed a body of law known as the Immigration and Nationality Act, which stripped Article III courts, that's the judicial branch, of jurisdiction over immigration cases. So Congress actually passed, it's called jurisdiction stripping legislation. It passed a number of laws that say that the Article III courts aren't even allowed to be involved in immigration cases. Many of you probably don't know this. I'll give you a good example. Are you familiar with the term temporary protected status, or TPS, right? So by statute, the courts are stripped of jurisdiction from overruling a presidential determination or a secretarial determination on TPS when the Secretary of Homeland Security makes that determination. So when Secretary Noem terminated TPS for the illegals that Biden flew into the country, when courts stepped in, they were violating explicit language that Congress had enacted, saying they have no jurisdiction. So it's not just the courts aren't just at war with the executive branch. The courts are at war, these radical rogue judges, with the legislative branch as well, too. So all of that will inform the choices the president.
This guy's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Every day he's out there fighting for America. Unashamedly, unapologetically fighting for America.
I tell you, take this guy to the
so great
car dealership with you.
Yeah.
Negotiate a great deal for you. Maybe use him for making your case in fantasy football trades. I mean, this guy can argue anything.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it's perfect because John Roberts has just basically said that the judiciary is supreme. They're the supreme rulers of this nation. It's kind of interesting. He was just talking about, here's what he said. In our Constitution, the judiciary is a co-equal branch of government, separate from the others. Okay, right? With the authority to interpret the Constitution as law, and get this, and strike down, obviously, acts of Congress or acts of the president. Wait, if they can just strike down anything Congress does or the president does, that's not co-equal. That's judicial supremacy at that point. Is it not? So he thinks it's the job of the court system to not just decide cases, but also check the excesses of Congress or of the executive. So
I always thought it was the...
Great.
We've learned lately it's a traffic court judge in Lincoln, Nebraska that runs the country. Is that not right? Because it seems like...
wouldn't surprise me if it is right.
Every time.
It does, yeah.
Donald Trump does something.
Yeah.
It's another judge.
Yep.
Coming in. Terrible.
And last week, Senator Kennedy, John Kennedy of Louisiana, had FBI Director Kash Patel in front of him. And Kennedy had some questions about the Jeffrey Epstein files.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Come on, Kash. Really?
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When you think you'll have it done, Kash?
I think in the near future, sir.
What does that mean?
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Senator Reid.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
So I'll take that as a nebulous maybe. That's like a maybe before John Kennedy dies.
I believe he hung himself.
Yeah, that's... Come on now.
Okay.
Come on now, Kash. Do you really... Is that what you really believe? Because that's amazing if that's true. I don't... I certainly don't believe he hung himself. There are just too many coincidences. We could go through them all again, but we've done it 100 times. So I think we'll leave it lie. But at the same time, James O'Keefe just released another
holy crap
Jeffrey Epstein themed video.
Yesterday, Attorney General of the United States Pam Bondi was at the White House and disclosed what she represented as brand new information in relation to Jeffrey Epstein. The existence of tens of thousands of videos featuring little children.
There are tens of
we played
thousands
this. Remember this?
Of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, this is the first time an official has publicly acknowledged that videos of Epstein and his victims exist.
Right.
What you may not know is just 9 days prior, the Attorney General had a very similar conversation with a total stranger in a restaurant.
Do you know when the Epstein files are going to get released?
We hope soon. The FBI's been...
Okay.
So...
Any dates?
No, you know what it is? There are tens and thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids. So they have to go through every one.
In the past, officials have spoken about the, quote, mountain of evidence in the Epstein case, but they've never, previous to that moment, acknowledged on the existence of videos of, quote, little kids. Just a few days later, at 2 p.m. on May 1st, our reporter sent the AG's office the text of the recording. We asked why this detail had not been disclosed to the public, but was instead being told to a random stranger at a restaurant. The Attorney General used almost the exact same language as she did with the stranger in the restaurant, language that we shared with her press office.
There are tens and thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, we hesitated to publish this story, but believe, like we did yesterday, that the public has a right to know. And this one raises serious questions. On one hand, why did our country's highest law enforcement official share this information first not with the American people, but with a self-described nanny at brunch? But more importantly, why was this information held back in the first place? Does this show that a government apparatus is still working behind the scenes to protect powerful people involved in the scandal?
Come on.
Based upon the response to our Epstein story yesterday, it's clear that the American people want answers, and they want accountability.
That's a bad look.
Yeah.
That's a bad look.
No way around that.
No.
I guess the excuse will be, well, she was an American citizen. I assumed. I assumed it was so. I just told her, and then told the rest of the American people later.
I see.
I don't know.
That would have been wise to quickly, when they had the fiasco with the binders, to quickly say, look, the other stuff with the videos, we got to protect the victims. We got to go through
why didn't we hear
those.
this in the very beginning?
Exactly. That's the point.
Yeah. We should have heard this at the very beginning. Look, we were going to release these. all of them. And then we discovered that there's all these videos, and we got to go through that first so that we protect the victims.
Now, Pam Bondi
can understand that if they just would have said that.
Yeah. Yep. She did. Her Department of Justice announced that they were investigating the Epic City project being built here in Metro Dallas with the
I'm glad to see
Center.
that. Yep. Yeah, the Epic City is the gigantic Islamic community that they're putting together, and that the Muslims sat around in that podcast and laughed about how they're scamming the system and getting it done the way they want to, installing Sharia law behind our back, basically. I mean, they didn't admit necessarily that it was going to be Sharia, but sure sounded like it.
And Governor Abbott says that nearly half a dozen investigations are underway against Epic City.
Okay, and that's the one up near Plano, Texas.
And there's no construction currently taking place. So
okay, so they're on it. At least they're looking into it.
Yeah.
Which, that's what we want.
Yep, exactly.
All right. You've heard me talk for years about Patriot Mobile. So you probably already know that they've stood in the gap for a long time for every American who believes that faith, family, and freedom are worth fighting for. They're the real deal. But did you know that they've also got cutting-edge technology? Switching is really easy. No store visits, no hassle. Keep your phone number if you want, keep your phone if you want, or you could upgrade. Their 100% U.S.-based team can activate you in minutes, right over the phone. And get this, Patriot Mobile is one of the few carriers with access to all 3 major U.S. networks. That means exceptional nationwide coverage. That means that you're not compromising the quality that you demand for, your principles. You can have your principles and the quality too. So they make that really easy. You can't get all this from the big guys. So what are you waiting for? Make that switch today and experience the Patriot Mobile difference. Go to patriotmobile.com/Pat, or you could call 972-PATRIOT. And right now, use the promo code PAT and get a free month of service. A free month of service. Switch to Patriot Mobile. Defend your freedom with every single call and text you make. That's patriotmobile.com/Pat. Or call 972-PATRIOT.
Pat Gray is Unleashed.
Back at the Kash Patel hearing, apparently Patty Murray had a little chat with Kash, and here's how that went.
Let me tell you what the FBI has done since I got there. 8,276 federal arrests to 820 kilograms seized of fentanyl. That's enough to kill 250,000 people. Over 3,000 firearms seized, 350 gang cases, 3,000 cases against violent criminals.
That's not my question. We know that you...
Well, you asked if I was weaponizing the FBI, and I am not. I'm giving you the hard, concrete examples of the men and women putting handcuffs on bad people, doing harm to our children and innocent Americans. I do not see weaponization.
You have placed on leave FBI employees responsible for the investigation of January 6th. That sounds political to me.
I have not placed anyone on leave who has not violated their ethical obligation or their oath to the Constitution.
So if they were investigating January 6th, you believe they were violating an ethical obligation?
Nope. I think the common theme here is you putting words in my mouth, and I'm not going to tolerate it, nor will the men and women of the FBI.
Well, you did place on leave an analyst responsible for investigating Russia's meddling in the 2016 election. Is that politicization? Is that retribution?
No, not if she broke the law or the ethical guidelines. I don't know which case you're talking about, but that's the standard. And we will hold ourselves inwardly accountable, and we will not be strayed from our mission because people think we are politicizing the Bureau. If you want to talk about someone who was attacked by a weaponized Bureau, you're looking at him. And now he's the director of the FBI, and he's cleaning it up.
Hashtag put that in your pipe.
So great. Wow. So, yeah, those people were fired, but for good reason, not just because we're weaponizing the FBI. That's not what they're doing. That's what they were doing before the Trump administration. And they didn't care at all about any of that. They weaponized the FBI against not just Kash Patel, Donald Trump. I mean, that whole Russian hoax thing was driven by them. And so you had no problem with it whatsoever then. Now, all of a sudden, they're all indignant over, I want to avoid even the appearance that this is being weaponized against Americans.
I mean, that was...
Do you?
That was a daily occurrence under Biden.
Every single day. Wow. Over the weekend, Robert Kennedy was interviewed by Bret Baier at Fox News about the Texas measles outbreak and some people's hesitancy to get the MMR vaccine.
The MMR vaccine that we currently use has millions of particles from were created from aborted fetal tissue, millions of DNA fragments, and there are people who have religious objections toward those, and those people should be treated with compassion. If they come to a hospital and they're sick, we need to know how to treat them. And one of the failures of the CDC in the past is they weren't telling doctors, no kid should die of measles in this country. Even in 1963, before the introduction of the vaccine, there were 400 deaths a year, and there were up to 2 million measles cases. So it's only very, very sick kids should die from measles, and nobody should.
There's some that were saying that the rubella portion of the vaccine, and you were talking about the produced from the fetal cell line, originated from an abortion that took place in the 60s. But the MMR vaccine doesn't contain the cells in its final form.
It doesn't contain cells, but it contains DNA fragments.
Got it. And so that's your point.
Yeah. So, and people have religious objections to that. And although I might not share those objections, I respect them. And I think those people, a lot of the Mennonites told me, and I went down there and spent time with the community during the outbreak, and they said they didn't want to go to the hospital because they were treated as pariah. They said we were treated like lepers there. And that should not be part of American health care. If somebody comes in, if they have a religious objection, we should still be treating them.
Yeah. That's not the way it was, though, certainly, under Biden. And so it's great to see that JFK at least has, some kind of sensibility for people who have religious objections like this. And they're not trying to berate them or belittle them or arrest or take their kids from them.
Right.
All of those things were being done before. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
A lot. Also, measles is generally not deadly. I mean, millions and millions of us, especially baby boomers, had the measles and survived it somehow, Gave it to other people on purpose. In fact, in many cases. All right, 888-900-3393. More coming up.
People are suffering. People are dying.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Yeah, it's true. I am here. Barely. For some reason, my brain and mouth are not synced up today, and I blame this shirt because I wore it against my better judgment. I don't know why. I thought, no, that I shouldn't wear that shirt.
Getting a little Maury
but
effect.
I did it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that? Just to defy the cameraman?
Yeah, just because I haven't worn it in a long time, and I thought, I'm going to wear something a little bit different.
Very cool.
Yeah. It just really hasn't worked. It's thrown me off now. I think I'm thrown off by the shirt.
Interesting.
Yeah. Got some tweets here, though. Squatching Duck tweets, are we going to charge illegals $50 for an extra check bag? No. No.
That's awesome.
We can't separate illegals from their money,
or from their luggage.
Sarah Bear tweets, I feel that protecting victims is a cop-out. If Kash Patel and Pam Bondi really wanted to release the files, they would release them. Victims are dying off. Release the files before they're all dead.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Fair.
I mean, yeah. It's time for sure. For sure. And I don't know why, because if you're releasing files, they don't come with the videos attached, right? We don't even have to delve into the videos. Why don't you just release the files of who's involved?
And just redact the victims' names?
Yeah. Take out the victims' names and show us who the perpetrators are. What's wrong with that? Do it. Meanwhile, there were a lot of wins this past weekend, but of course another judge was playing the role of president with another stupid ruling, halting the Trump administration from carrying out under a February executive order mass firings or major reorganizations of multiple agencies going forward. Senior District Judge Susan Ilgen,
I don't know,
on Friday granted a temporary restraining order sought by federal employees unions, local governments, and outside organizations that rely on federal services who argued the administration was acting outside the bounds of the law. Judge's order, which lasts 2 weeks, blocks the administration's approval of or implementation of the plans that they had for conducting mass layoffs and for shrinking or eliminating entire components of an agency.
No.
She's also pausing any orders from the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, cutting programs or staff in accordance with Trump's executive order and the related directives. Okay, so once again, the judicial is in charge here.
All right, but these are federal employees who serve under the executive branch departments.
Yes.
And who's the head of the executive branch?
Oh, let me think. Gosh, is it?
It's like a trivia question.
Is it? Oh, man, that's a tough one.
It's the traffic cop.
Is it the Secretary of Treasury?
No, not quite. No.
See, in the executive branch, like the executive in the executive branch.
I'll give you a hint. It's the traffic court judge in Lincoln, Nebraska, making the laws.
That's where it was.
And deciding who stays employed at the federal level.
There's a traffic court judge in Lincoln, Nebraska, who is now running the country.
Yeah,
okay.
That's how our system of government works.
It's how it feels right now.
Yep.
I mean, these are people who serve at the pleasure of the president, and he can't hire or fire them? Wow. Come on. How is this possible? It's not. I mean, it's unconstitutional. They keep screaming about the Constitution when it's convenient for them. Well, this is unconstitutional, what is happening with these judges. It's outrageous.
Screw your freedom.
Yep.
That's what they're saying, essentially. And in Congress, the House of Representatives expects to pass the big, beautiful bill by Memorial Day. So is that a week from Friday? No, a week from Monday. I mean, 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks.
I guess it's 2 weeks.
What's that shirt doing
from
to you?
Today? I'm telling you,
2
it's
days.
thrown off my. I'm going to go find something in my office closet and change here.
Please do. You got an ice jacket there. You want to put that on?
Maybe I'll just wear that. Yeah.
So 2 weeks from today. so the House is thinking.
A week from Friday's the next Monday, and then back. You go to Tuesday and the day before that. Yeah, it's 2 weeks from today.
Nailed it. Okay, so
that's when they expect to
get it through the House,
to get the big beautiful bill through the House. But a warning from Congressman.
But July 4th before they actually would get it signed into law.
The 4th of July?
Yeah.
Why? Because it's going to take the Senate that long?
It's going to take must I get the vacation calendar out again for the U.S. Congress?
Yeah.
But they're hoping that it's on the president's desk by Independence Day.
Wow. Jeez.
I know, man.
They expect this to pass the Senate? I don't know how that's going to happen.
I think so. That I forgot who was talking about this.
Is it going to be a 50+1 vote?
I just know that the differences apparently aren't that many.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll see.
All right. This was a warning from Congressman Massie, though, from months ago.
Very
and
prophetic.
It seems to be coming true.
Also, DOGE. I think that's going to be a great committee, a great aspect to bring to Congress. But the DOGE recommendations are like the Constitution. If you can get my colleagues to follow them, they're going to be great. And so that's really the sticking point here. And I hope the president does use his position, the bully pulpit, to get Congress to cut spending, to pare our government down using DOGE recommendations.
Yep. So just so you're aware, Thomas Massie, who you just saw in that clip there, just mentioned the other day that Speaker Johnson quietly canceled a vote that would have made the DOGE cuts permanent.
Oh, my gosh.
So thanks for your hard work. We won't be instituting them in the final budget product.
Outrageous.
Insane.
This is why Republicans have such a bad name.
Yep.
They're also talking about a tax increase for the wealthiest Americans, and I'm not in favor of that.
I think you just realize maybe that's the answer, how it's going to sail through.
Yeah.
Oh,
probably.
We're gonna raise
with a tax
taxes on
increase. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't do it.
Jeez.
Don't do it.
All right. Blaze TV exists because in a world full of noise, we need a stronghold for bold voices and free thinkers, fearless commentary that helps make sense of all the chaos. And at Blaze TV, you've got a home for some of the strongest and smartest voices in conservative media. People who really care. People who are going to tell you about the way it really is. Unapologetically, and not trying to do it in a politically correct way, in a woke way. No, you're going to get the truth here. We share your values, and we make sure that none of us lose the ground that we've already gained. So go to blazetv.com/Pat and subscribe today. You'll be supporting a platform that supports you. That's blazetv.com/Pat. Promo code Pat. You'll save $20 right now off our annual plan. Blaze TV Unfiltered, Unafraid, On Demand. blazetv.com/Pat to save $20 right now.
Now, more of Pat Gray Unleashed.
So earlier, we talked about China and the tariffs. And here's Matt Gaetz and Dr. Isaiah Hankel, formerly of the NIH, on China making drugs for us in America.
How are they able to evade the monitoring of the fidelity?
Pause it for just a sec. So Matt Gaetz is on OAN now?
He has a show, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So that's what he's doing. He went from Congress to the One America Network?
Well, yeah, he was the nominee for Attorney General. If you recall.
Right.
And then when
Didn't
that
get
fell
that,
through,
so he got this gig.
there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's let him go.
Well, so they were, I believe they were working with Baxter, or at least Baxter was buying these drugs from China. So China creates these drugs. They involve a process where they have to generate the heparin from different pig parts. And what they found is they could use a different pig part to create it synthetically so that it could pass the quality control measures put in place by the U.S. and scientists.
What?
So these are highly intelligent and creative people. They know exactly what they're doing. The reason that they did is because it was about 100 times cheaper than the actual heparin. There was it was the swine flu or some other things over there that caused a shortage of the important pig parts. And so they can very carefully create this so that it can get through the checkpoints, but they care nothing about what happens afterwards. They just want the money and to make the profits that they were able to make off of this.
It's despicable, isn't it? We're getting a real good look behind the scenes right now.
Yeah.
And getting a peek at the ugliness that is happening that we had no idea about.
I want quality pig parts in my drugs.
So do I. But just to save money, they're doing this. Just so they can get around regulations. Wow, that's so dangerous.
Sure is.
Wow. Speaking of drugs, by the way, President Trump said he's going to sign an executive order today.
Yeah.
That he says will cut drug prices by 30 to 80%.
Yeah, that signing is coming up in less than an hour, I think.
Yeah, it's 9 Eastern, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And that's going to hurt people like Anthony Fauci, who I saw a headline over the weekend that his fortune doubled to $15 million during the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
How did he know what to invest in during the pandemic? You know, the guy that everyone was going to for answers about the pandemic, he somehow was able to double his fortune to $15 million.
I represent science.
That's how he did it. He represents science. So, is that what you were about to get to?
I mean, I think it goes without saying. The man is science.
Right.
So, that's going to be huge on the drug costs, it looks like.
So pharmaceutical companies attribute the higher prices that we pay here to the fact that they do all the research and development. And it is true. I mean, I understand that aspect of it. We research and develop and come up with, 65 to 75% of all new medication. That's all done here. And then everybody else just benefits from that. So that's why we pay a higher amount than anybody else in the world, because the drugs from here, the drug companies are trying to make up that difference. And they only get to, experience their patent for a short time. What is it, 2 or 3 years or something? And then it just goes to everybody. Anybody can have it. Anybody can do it. And that's where you get the generic brands. So they have a very short time. And they charge a premium for that. So I don't know what he's going to do to stop that.
Yeah, he addressed that. It's kind of interesting on his tweet. It's such a long tweet, too. But he talked about it's been embarrassing because, in fact, there was no correct or rightful answers as to why we pay so much for drugs. But he goes on to talk about he's going to be instituting a most favored nations policy.
Yeah, I don't know
the United States.
How that works.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Interesting.
We'll pay the same price
that everybody else does.
Yeah. So that's,
He said campaign contributions can do wonders, but not with me and not with the Republican Party. We're going to do the right thing, something that the Democrats have fought for many years. To do the right thing? No, they have not. No. Therefore, I am pleased to announce that tomorrow morning, meaning this morning, in the White House, 9 a.m. Eastern, so that's just about 45 minutes from now, I'll be signing one of the most consequential executive orders in our country's history. Prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced almost immediately by 30 to 80%. They will rise throughout the world in order to equalize and, for the first time in many years, bring fairness to America. And it does, again, it has to do with the most favored nations policy, whereby the U.S. will pay the same price.
Yeah, I don't. I'm like you. I don't quite follow how that's going to be implemented.
I don't either.
And we're free market guys, and we don't want to see the government meddle. But if these drug companies are able to sell their products at a lower cost to other countries, why the hell can't they do that for us, too?
Yeah, I know.
So
I know. Yeah. It's a hard one. That's a tough one. So we'll see. We'll see how that works. I guess we don't have all the details. Maybe after he makes the announcement, we will.
I don't have to negotiate.
There you go.
Awesome.
Anytime in life you have to make a really big change, it can be hard, it can be stressful. And that's especially true when you're planning to buy or sell a home or do both. It's complicated. And again, it is stressful. Takes a lot of time, takes a lot of jumping through hoops. And the stakes are really high, probably as high as anything you're going to do in your life. So that's where Real Estate Agents I Trust come in, because these are realtors who really know what they're doing. They've got great track records. They've had successful careers. They've been carefully vetted by Glenn's team. It's his company, and so he makes sure that these are the best realtors in any given market. And they're also usually fans of the show, so that you're going to have a lot of things in common with them. Somebody you can trust. And this is pretty great, too. It's a free service we provide to you. No reason not to do it. Go to Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name says it all. RealEstateAgentsITrust.com.
Join the conversation on X and follow @PatUnleashed.
Got some tweets here. Not Jess tweets like Jeffy Math, but with days of the week. You got the Friday, then the Monday, and add 1 week, and you get Memorial Day.
So if we put the 18-minute together along with the 7-minute together, you got 22 minutes. You sell it with 8 minutes of ads, you got 30 minutes.
Kind of hurts to be compared to Jeffy Math, but
Truth hurts.
I guess I deserve it. Oh, I didn't change my shirt yet. That was a mistake.
What's going on there?
OG Thor, so Chinese pills are the same as American hot dogs? Yeah, the pig parts. Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, the pig parts. You get just the nasty pig parts. And got yourself Chinese pills and hot dogs. Perfect.
Yum.
I guess there's another little technical snafu today. We're on the 24/7 Blaze channel right now instead of the Pat channel.
Okay, yeah, at blazetv.com. The 24/7 live stream is working.
Okay.
But like you said, the Pat channel.
But the Pat channel has something else on it.
Yeah, it's just frozen in time.
We've been hacked.
Don't know why. Have we been hacked?
We've been hacked.
Is it true?
No.
No. Okay.
Okay. You gave me hope.
Call that BS very quickly.
So our apologies for the technical
But they're right
nightmare.
on it. They're on it like Blue Bonnet right now. So sure, that'll be fixed very, very shortly. Meanwhile, tell me about the European leaders on a train.
Okay, so there's this train, and we've got, what's the guy's name? Macron from France.
Joe Biden's not on it, though, right? Because he loves train travel.
He's up with the engineer, sitting up front like a big boy.
Yeah,
He's getting to ride up front. So you got Keir Starmer, Macron, and the German guy whose name I can never remember. And so they're hanging out in this train car. They let the press come in. And I just want you to watch Macron's hands as we go through this video. Yeah, all right. Standing up. All right. Yay, come on in here. Yay. Because Starmer and Macron, or I'm sorry, the German guy and Macron were in there ahead of time.
We came through Germany, and then we made it to France.
Bedroom, and we got okay, now watch Macron's left hand.
The photo, and after that you will be allowed to drink. Yeah.
His right hand. Oh, whoa. What did you just hide there, bro?
Yeah.
Was that a baggie filled with white stuff? Rewind that just a little bit, Joe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Look at
Yeah.
now he just switched hands and put it in his pocket.
What's going on there?
Interesting.
Okay,
let's see. Okay, there's a bag right there. And he grabs it.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Take your pictures. Yep. Don't ask me any questions about the baggie in my hand that I'm now going to shove it in my pocket and hope you don't see that either. Look at that. Change his hands. Look at that. Okay, that's were they snorting some cocaine Hunter Biden style?
Look at that. I mean, there it is. Right there. Right
Smoking crack and drinking vodka exclusively.
Okay. I mean, there's a bag of something. Something white. You know, maybe he's about to bake bread, and it's a bag of flour. And he just...
Those train cars are really hip now.
Yeah.
They've got ovens in them.
Yeah. So he could be about to bake a nice loaf of bread. I mean, he is French, right? Oh, but then he didn't want anybody to see the flour.
It's a secret recipe.
That is strange.
Now,
isn't that strong?
Maybe it was Excedrin, right? And you just get the powder and you,
powdery Excedrin.
You take it.
Sure. Okay.
Straight in.
All right. I mean, I don't know. It could be a lot of things, but that was the way he was so secretive about it is strange. It's weird.
It's very weird.
Wow.
So there you go. It's
there you go. That's kind of fun.
Probably getting high.
Yeah, it's fun.
Now let's let the press come in. And if I'm Keir Starmer, who gets to come in after the fact, he's like, "Whoa, you guys had a party without me?
You guys are doing coke in here without me?
Come on now. I thought we were Eurobuds."
Who's bogarting all the blow?
Right.
That's probably what he said right before the journalist got in there. That's great.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a follow-up on this or what, but there you go.
Wow. Is anybody talking about that online?
Yeah, absolutely they are.
Okay, good.
Anyway, Emmanuel Macron, alleged crackhead.
Man.
Alleged.
Very strange. Also, last week, the press asked about President Trump's trip to the Middle East.
Given that you noted he is a successful businessman, do you know if the president has any plans to meet with any of the folks involved with any of the family businesses over there?
Can you believe that?
See any of the sites that are going to be
Can you
Not-
believe that?
Not to my knowledge, and let me just get to the premise of your question that both of you have raised. I think it's frankly ridiculous that anyone in this room would even suggest that President Trump is doing anything for his own benefit. He left a life of luxury and a life of running a very successful real estate empire for public service, not just once, but twice. And again, the American public reelected him back to this White
Without
House
pay,
because they
by
trust
the
he
way.
acts in the best interest of our country and putting the American public first. This is a president who has actually lost money for being president of the United States. I don't remember these same type of questions being asked of my predecessor about a career politician who was clearly profiting off of this office. That is not what President Trump does, and this White House holds ourselves to the highest of ethical standards.
Good. Nice.
Can you believe that they would ask such a question after 4 years of being silent about the Biden family?
Right. It's despicable. Oh, man. I guess we should expect it, though, because that's what the press does.
Yeah.
They hammer Trump, and they excuse everything the Democrats do. Wow. Ahead of that trip, though, to the Middle East, it looks like the last American citizen being held hostage, Eden Alexander, is about to be released by Hamas. We've heard this before. I hope it's true this time. Here's what the president posted. He said, "I'm happy to announce that Eden Alexander, an American citizen who has been held hostage since October 2023, is coming home to his family. I'm grateful to all those involved in making this monumental news happen. This was a step taken in good faith towards the United States and the efforts of the mediators, Qatar and Egypt, to put an end to this very brutal war and return all living hostages and remains to their loved ones." You know, it's despicable, though, that he's the last remaining living American hostage, meaning all the others are dead. I think there's 4 others still there, all dead. How many of the Israeli hostages also dead?
Yeah.
And we've never held them accountable for that.
Nope.
I mean, nobody even talks about it. Nobody mentions it. Oh, by the way, most of these hostages are now dead.
Yeah.
How'd they die? Who killed them? What do you mean they're dead?
Yeah, and those are the killers that Bill Maher says his Democrat Party is aligned with.
Jeez.
And thank God for President Trump going over there. It's like dad's coming home from work, and now they're finally like, oh, now we'll do something good.
Yep.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Welcome. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. All right, we gotta revisit our little train ride.
Yeah, I got this.
With the
got this text here. It says that I guess the German leader. What you got? What were you doing there?
Nothing. Why? What's the problem?
Well, you had a little white baggy or something.
I got
white.
I don't
and you
have
just
anything.
Kind of hit it.
I don't have
away.
anything.
I didn't see anything.
I was sitting right there,
Chris.
and then you just
no, there wasn't
nonchalant.
anything there. Look at it's just. Well, I got
That's
this
the
little
next live
reminder
reads. Yeah,
of the next live read.
And a
That's all I
micro-
have.
yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? You see that every day. You got little reminders there. Time to do the commercial.
Something's up.
So,
but let's play the video again. The German guy on the right. All right.
Okay.
All right. So apparently he has people are saying he has a cutting spoon.
He's got a cutting spoon.
A cutting spoon.
Okay.
We came through Germany, and then we made it to France.
And then he hides that.
They're having a good time, whatever it is.
Blah,
and then
blah, blah.
all of a sudden,
Oh, there's a cutting spoon right there in his hand.
Let me
See?
just take that. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah.
Now he's going to switch hands.
But hold on. You're watching Macron? No, watch the German guy whose name is pointless.
It's Bob.
Look, what he grabbed. See, what did he just grab there? You saw that? With 2 hands, he's got it.
It's a pen or
It's a pen.
It better be a pen.
Oh, yeah, it's a pen.
And now Macron puts whatever that is in his back pocket. Okay. That's kind of weird.
So I have this. Again, what are you doing over there with?
What do you mean? I'm just doing the show. What do you want from me?
I swear something.
Get off my back.
Like a baggy of something.
White substances?
Okay, so as fun as it would be to have stumbled onto something nefarious right there, Did a little. Chris did a little.
Yes, I went to Getty because
up close
I
and
heard
personal.
Getty was in the cart.
Yeah.
So I went to Getty.
So
and
Via
then
Getty
there is
was
the
involved in this again?
Getty did
Is
it
Via
again.
Getty the one who gave him the coke?
Yep,
Oh, wow.
It was
wow.
Getty. So I'm going to call BS on the baggie.
Okay, why?
And let's zoom in, Joe, to that
Zoom
little
in.
white baggie. Oh, it's a tissue.
It's tissue.
Now that's
it's like Kleenex.
That
He's
sucks.
blown his
Yes.
nose, and he didn't want a snotty rag there.
Which is
on the-
understandable.
Completely understandable.
Well, that
Dang it!
sucks. Okay.
That does
Do we trust Getty? Do we trust Getty?
Well, no,
Uh-huh.
I don't trust
I jocked
Via
at the
Getty.
photo because they're protecting Emmanuel Macron. Okay, so, and we think that was probably a pin with the German guy?
Yes, it's a pen. So if you go back, Joe, you don't have to play the whole thing, but go back to
Where
the
he
video.
picks up something?
If you look at the folder where Macron is, there's a pen
Okay.
right next to it. And then
Yeah.
if you see on the
I
cup,
see that.
there's
Uh-huh.
a pen right next to the German's cup. So when he moves the folder and the cup, there's a pen.
Yep. He just
Sure
takes
it
the
was.
pen.
Yeah.
Okay, so behind the scenes, Chris Cruz with the props helping us out here during the break.
And then it looks like Starmer has something, dude. He's putting his hands under the desk.
Yeah, he's acting
they're
very
all
shady.
acting so shady.
shady.
So
And it turns out it's not, apparently. But wow, did they ever act like it was?
Right. So Chris brings in the Kleenex.
Uh-huh.
Now, Pat,
Yeah.
do we know that the Kleenex is unused by Chris Cruz?
Yes.
I'm hoping.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, it is.
It seems to be unused.
It's unused.
Okay,
yes.
because
Okay.
Chris hands me a spoon prop.
Mm-hmm.
It's used.
Oh, wow.
How gross, man!
It was wiped with a Clorox wipe.
I did what the German
Was it?
chancellor
Yes.
did.
Okay.
And I get this crusty like oatmeal stuff on my hands. And
Hey, the Clorox wipe wiped it.
yeah, sure it did. So now I'm gonna do the rest of the show. I'm over here looking for hand sanitizer.
Do you need hand sanitizer? I can get you hand sanitizer.
Something.
Yes,
Some
I got
gross.
it.
Oh, I got you covered.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
I
sir.
can help with
yes,
a little
please. Thank
Clorox.
you. Okay. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I've just been dying over here. Thank you. I'm good. We're good. Thank you, though.
I got it.
appreciate it.
I got it.
Got it covered. Woo! With the things we do
Yeah.
for this show.
Mhm.
But anyhow, that was a great video. Still,
That is. Yeah,
enjoyed
it is. Because they do look guilty. All three
All
of them
three of them look very
like
guilty.
they're doing something nefarious, and apparently they're not.
And
They
they're-
got that Jeffy look.
and plus they're euros, so
Yeah.
of course they're always doing something.
That's
illegal.
very true. Yeah.
Truth lives here, right?
Truth lives here. Yep. So when we suspect some kind of cocaine conspiracy and find out it's not that, we got to tell you.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's a darn shame.
It is.
Because that would have been fun.
And it would have
Come on.
explained so much.
Yes. Yes, it would. 3 Euro leaders doing coke on a train. That would have been a great story. I'm sorry.
That would have been awesome.
3 Europeans walk into a bar.
Train car.
Train car, yeah.
All right. But somebody who's taking issue with one aspect of the president's trip that we were telling you about a few minutes ago, before all the cocaine talk, is one of his, staunch supporters, Laura Loomer. Now, what's happened is that Qatar has offered to give us a plane worth $400 million. Wow. I guess to use for a while until they finally update Air Force One or get rid of it entirely and get a new. I don't know. Is there
I think
a new 747 they're going to get?
I know he put in an order for one, but I thought they were going to take this Qatar plane and just wrap it and make it Air Force One. I may be wrong on that.
I think that's what they're going to do, but I read that it might be temporary.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, because they've got to outfit it with all kinds of stuff. I would think, right? This is supposed to be like a flying palace. But Laura Loomer, you know her, you might love her. She loves President Trump, and she says so in the Post. I love President Trump. I would take a bullet for him, but I have to call a spade a spade. We cannot accept a $400 million gift from jihadists in suits. The Qataris fund the same Iranian proxies in Hamas and Hezbollah who have murdered U.S. service members. The same proxies that have worked with the Mexican cartels to get jihadis across the border. This is really going to be such a strain on the administration if this is true. I'm so disappointed. That's strong criticism from Laura Loomer.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree. We should not be accepting a $400 million gift or any gift from Qatar. We're $37 trillion in debt. Another $400 million for our own plane with all American products. I think it's worth it. We just go to Boeing and say, build us a plane, okay? And we're going to update this 40-year-old Air Force One. I guess, this is from 1985. It is probably time to update it. But we don't need Qatar's help to update Air Force One, right? I can't imagine that this would be a good move. And then what do they want in return? Is just a gift? Here, no strings attached. Of course they want special treatment afterwards. Even if it's nothing formal and it's not laid out, they're going to expect that they be treated a little bit better or differently if they give us a $400 million plane.
And I would be concerned that it would be bugged or
I would too. You can't trust them. I wouldn't trust Qatar giving us Air Force One. No, thank you.
We're gonna figure it out on our own. Thanks, though.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate the gesture. That's really nice. We're gonna have to take a pass on this one.
We'll take it. We'll just make it go to the airplane graveyard.
No. We'll use it to just shuttle illegals in and out of the country.
There you go.
That would be a great use.
I'm sorry. Did I say in and out of the country? I believe I meant out of the country.
Yes. It comes back empty.
Biden's already brought him in.
It does come back empty.
We need to send him out.
Yes, we send him out. It comes back empty. We load it up again, and we send it out again.
24/7. It's just in a rotation.
Yes.
That would be nice. That's a great use for that.
We can call it Illegal Express. And for the rest of Trump's term, that's all it's doing. Around the clock. Yep. Shuttling them out.
I love it.
Get out.
Yes, please.
Fellow Latinx or Latinx, I approve of this message.
All right, good.
Okay. So that's official then, right? If you approve, then that's official. All right, let's be honest. We're not getting any younger, right? And if you want to look and feel your best, even though we're getting older, you need to check out Pure Health Research. They have 45 premium health supplements that are designed to help with pretty much any goal that you have, whether it's boosting your energy, trimming belly fat, supporting healthy blood sugar, pumping up testosterone, or even reducing swelling in your legs. Pure Health Research Supplement Store has you covered. Every formula is crafted with natural, non-GMO ingredients and backed by clinical research, manufactured right here in the United States of America. And here's the best part. Pure Health Research is offering you an exclusive 35% discount. Just go to purehealthresearch.com and use the promo code PAT at checkout. With their 365-day money-back guarantee, there's just no risk in trying something new. So why wait? Go to purehealthresearch.com right now. Check out their 45 amazing supplements and save 35% before this deal ends. And all you have to do is use the coupon code PAT. Don't miss this chance to look and feel your best.
Pat Gray Unleashed now continues.
Here's how much Joe Biden covered up, including up to and including how many soldiers were injured in that floating Gaza thing. Remember the floating Gaza pier that they tried to put into place just to help? I mean, it was like a gift to the Gazans. We're trying to help you. We're trying to get you some care, some food, some health benefits. We can do a lot of different things with this pier. They actually fired at our soldiers, and then, of course, there was some kind of storm that ruined it completely. And we were told at the time, I think a couple of soldiers were injured in this thing. One was killed, right? Turns out like 65 soldiers were injured in this. And that was completely covered up by the Biden administration.
Wow.
I mean, how many things like this were there going on? And we had no idea. No idea whatsoever. Jeez. Also from last week, the Maryland man. Remember, we showed you this video, in fact. It looks like not only was, is he a gang member, the Maryland man, the father of three, the sainted Abrego Garcia. Not only was he apparently a wife abuser and a gang member, but he was also a human trafficker. And we showed you the video where he got pulled over in, I think it was Tennessee.
Correct.
Right? Mm-hmm. And one of the cops said to the other cop, you know what's going on here, right? He's smuggling these people from probably across the Mexican border with Texas, and they're driving them to Maryland. And that's exactly, we showed you that. Illegals were in the van with him. Nobody else would talk except Abrego Garcia. But to recap, the Democrats want to bring back this illegal alien, wife-beating, human trafficking gang member who had been should have been deported years and years ago, but they want him home. And everything's fine with this guy. Just another little issue that the Democrats have, and it's I guess we're just supposed to ignore everything that this guy has ever done and believe that he is a sainted, upstanding citizen of Maryland who's a husband and a father, and a wonderful one at that. Wow. Then we've got Jasmine Crockett, too.
Oh, no.
Every time she opens her mouth, she exposes what a flaming racist she is. She joined SiriusXM Urban View host Clay Kane and Reese Colbert this week for a town hall discussion about the future of the Democrat Party. And in a promotional clip, she told them the party is eyeing a safe white boy candidate for 2028.
Whoa.
As opposed to her, I guess. Should she be the candidate? She might be angling for that. I don't know. She's pretty visible right now, and so she might be the one. But everything out of her mouth is racism. During the conversation, Crockett turned to who the Democrats might run in the next presidential election, and she said she's already hearing chatter of who donors are rallying behind. It is the fear that the people within the party, within the primary system, will have about voting for a woman, because every time we voted for a woman, we've lost, she said. And I think that's a natural fear because we just want to win. So there's a lot of people that are like, you know what? Like, let's go find the safest white boy we can find. I mean, I'm just saying. I guess we could get away with that if we were talking, if this is the opposite. If you're talking about a black person in this manner, would that be okay with anybody? No. She said those are the callers that we're hearing, though. We're hearing people, no, for real, a white man's got to do it. We're getting those callers. She's talking about from donors. So donors are calling and telling the Democrats, I guess, that it must be a white boy who runs in 2028. I don't believe that, but
a safe white boy.
Yeah, a safe white boy. I don't know who a safe white boy would be for the Democrats. Is that Gavin Newsom? I guess. I don't know. Is it? I don't even know who a safe white boy would be for the Democrats.
I don't either. Is that Josh Shapiro?
Josh, is he safe though? Probably not. Is because he's Jewish. That's not safe to them, right?
So David Hogg.
David Hogg, is he a safe white boy?
Well, he's not 35, so he's out. He's out.
Shoot! Darn!
Dang it!
That would have been good.
We're trying to help him out with a really good candidate here, and there just aren't any.
Clay Aiken.
Clay Aiken?
Yeah. He ran for Congress.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Did he win, though?
Nope.
Is he safe, though?
He is safe. He's
You
gay
think
and
he's safe?
safe.
Oh,
And
right.
white.
He's gay. That's
Gay,
right.
safe.
That's right.
Play Aiken.
Okay. Yeah. He didn't win a congressional race, but, maybe he'll win
Safe
a
white boy.
presidential race.
You know what?
There you go.
All right. What's old is new again. Maybe it's time to get Dick Gephardt on
Dick
the phone.
Gephardt.
You've often said this.
I have.
And it's about time the Democrat Party listens to you.
He might be their only choice. He might be. Dick Gephardt or, the other safe white boy would probably be Al Gore.
Yeah.
Al Gore.
There you go.
What is he, 80 now? He's got to be pushing 80.
How old
Way
is he?
past 35, so he qualifies.
Yes, he is. He does qualify for president, and so does Dick Gephardt, who I think is also 84, 85-ish.
77 for Al.
Oh, 77.
Hey,
He's
that's
like
a
a
young buck
spring
right there.
chicken.
84 for Dick.
84. So
Then we have
in
to go with him.
3 years, he's only 87, 88-ish.
Yeah.
He's prime.
These
On his prime.
I really think it's going to be AOC
Yes.
in 28.
And Bernie Sanders.
Maybe. Be her running mate. You think she'd be the top of the ticket,
Yes,
though, right?
she's top and
Yeah.
he's bottom.
Yeah.
Westmore,
Westmore is a possibility.
Maryland governor.
Maybe.
That's still who I'm putting my money on.
You've been pushing him for a while. You've been pushing. He's just not, and maybe that's his benefit.
That is his benefit.
He's not known, and that's a good thing for
you
him.
get that Francis Key Bridge going early, ahead of schedule. He's gonna. It doesn't take much.
Do we have an update on the
it's
on the
coming
Key
along
Bridge?
nicely. Yeah,
is it?
Yeah, yeah.
So he's pushing that. Yeah, that could help him.
I mean, we are so.
That could really help him.
Let's see here. The last I saw, let's see. Yeah, no, I don't see it here. Let's see. Completion date.
Because initially they said 15 years, right?
Yeah.
Remember
okay.
that? So if that's done by 28, that's going to be a big deal.
So October 15th, 2028 was the original target, but I thought I saw something that said that it was ahead of schedule, which would time out so beautifully for him. Am I right?
You're right.
There we go.
You are right.
Hey, you remember that Russian satellite that Jeffy mentioned last week?
It was coming down.
Yeah.
And it was going to kill somebody
Yeah.
when it fell on their
What were
head.
the odds he said? 1 in 25,000 or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
They were, decent odds.
I know.
It wasn't 1 in 20 million.
Better than Powerball, right?
Yeah. Yep. By far.
Yeah.
But it didn't land on anybody.
Nope. If you had Indian Ocean as your predicted location of
That's
the
a win.
splashdown,
Then you win.
Then you win. Come and
What do
claim
you-
your
what do I
prize.
What do you win? Thank you. What do you win when you have the Indian Ocean on
So
your card?
how many Russian space ventures are going to fall out
Right.
of the sky
I was
onto
thinking
the
that too.
Earth?
Yeah.
We had the Mir space station a while ago. This was, I don't know, 25 years ago or
That
something.
landed in
but
Australia, right?
yeah, it just fell down. It came down. Now we've got this. What's next? They can't keep things in space.
Because that was up there for 53 years. So
This latest thing was up there for 53 years?
yeah. So early 70s on that. But
Okay.
now you're getting into that era where they were
Yeah.
launching stuff. And like you said,
Yeah.
I'm going to Earth. I'm going to see if there's an answer to that. Let's see. It's difficult to give an exact number of satellites that will start crashing to Earth.
Okay.
Okay. That's so. I could go on, but the explanation looks boring.
So the sky is falling.
The sky,
Yeah, the sky is falling.
Yeah.
For sure.
I just want to make sure.
Most
So.
burn up, it says.
Jeffy would give you some good advice, though. Look up.
Yeah.
Well, if the sky is
So.
falling, do you look up or do
Yeah,
you
you
look
look up.
down?
No,
'Cause
you
don't
look
want
up.
to get hit in the face.
Yeah. As Jeffy would say, it's coming from up there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a good number.
Of things that are going to fall?
Yeah, it's
7.
It just because it says most burn up,
Yeah, that is true.
and then some
That is true.
debris survives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There.
Also, the Justice Department, this is kind of cool because we've been waiting for this for a long time. The Department of Justice has less than 2 weeks to decide whether to release audio from an interview widely credited with driving former President Joe Biden's decision to exit the presidential race. Actually, was it that interview or was it the debate? It was the debate. But D.C. court gave the Trump administration until May 20th to state how it will respond to a lawsuit seeking to uncover the recording from the DOJ's investigation of Biden's handling of classified documents. The tape featured a talk between the former president and former special counsel Robert Hur. A lot of people call him Judah Ben-Hur, who decided not to prosecute Biden because he was, quote, an elderly man with a poor memory, unquote. And several organizations have been pressing the DOJ for its release. The audio recording will lend additional answers to a fundamental question that the country has been grappling with, which is, who was running the country for the last few years? That's according to Kyle Brosnan, Vice President of Legal at the Oversight Project. So we may actually get the audio portion of Joe Biden's Hur interview. How great would that be? I mean, I guess it's not that important now because he's gone. But still, I'd like to know. I really would like to see just how bad it was, because it must have been pretty bad. The guy was deemed so incompetent and so incapacitated that they wouldn't even prosecute him for the document situation.
And this guy's a liar.
Pathetic. Wow. All right. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. They may or may not release it. My guess at this point is they will not release it.
Really?
Well, I mean, have they released anything yet? Well, the JFK files.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
But Epstein, not so much.
Let's see.
Except for that.
Oh, here's the transcript of the audio right here, ladies and gentlemen. There it is from Joe Biden.
So, congratulations.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.